tallest titles down under Dynasty with your host at Live from the Ben. And with me, as usual, my co-host at FF Doormat. How are you today, Matt?
Mate, I'm doing wonderfully well. Australia Day down here. Wish I could say I had a lazy day sinking beers, but was on the tools a little bit, on the gardening tools. That's about all the tools I get on nowadays, so yeah, a little bit sore and sorry. Did a bit of work for a change, so yeah, it was good. How about yourself, mate? How's things?
I just potted around the house. Still getting the green bin was full from when we came back from our holiday because I had to from the garden, and so I couldn't fit in. I couldn't mow the lawn, and the lawn needed to be mowed. So it finally got empty today. I was able to mow the lawn. That grass is high, my friend. Grass is very high.
Doesn't take long,
this stuff. Pardon?
Doesn't take long. I reckon you can mow every week in Australia. In summer, you can be at the
if you get the wet with the rain, the rain with the sun, just bang, right? And we've got an irrigation system, so it's getting water anyway.
You're out there at 6:30, were you, on the Australia Day?
Nah,
whippersnipping and
nah, mate. No. I went out there about 11 o'clock and almost died in the heat. Got to 38 degrees here today. What's that in Fahrenheit for our American friends?
It's hot. It's hot, sweaty, and humid.
All right, that's 100.4 Fahrenheit.
That sounds hotter than 38.
Yeah.
I think it felt like about 38 up here. I don't know how hot it was, but yeah, it's not much fun gardening in that humidity as well.
And we went to the new burger joint in my suburb. One of those fancy burger joints where the burgers like $15, $20 each. And I have to say,
I thought that was a pub. I thought there was a pub burger in Melbourne, isn't it? Aren't they all the fancy? The burgers down there, they're pretty good.
Well, there's lots of fancy burgers, but this one was for the price. This one was underwhelming. I was underwhelming. Yeah, patty was overcooked. Not happy with the meat patty.
Right, you need the juices flowing. You want to see a bit of
There's no juice.
Ginger red there, right? Yeah,
there's no juice. No juice, man. No juice. So, had that and just came back chilled. And as nice as it is to have a day off in the middle of the week, now tomorrow's going to feel like Monday.
Mate, well, NFL weekend, right? It's only a couple of days away. And is it Sunday? I haven't even checked, but I think it's Sunday again, isn't it, this week? It's pretty exciting. I just actually caught the Bills-Chiefs game today. Would you believe it? Don't know what's wrong with me. I knew the result, but I just watched it for the first time today. I had to go to Canberra Monday.
Canberra?
So I didn't get the chance. I had to do a building inspection down there. One of our buildings in Canberra. Somehow I actually went into the wrong building and I almost got in the computer rooms of the Australian Electoral Committee. It was pretty easy to get into those rooms. So if anyone wants to hire me as a penetration tester, I can sub myself out. But went to Canberra and just time clash. So I watched the Bucks Rams game. What a game that was. That was pretty awesome. I think the Rams would have been unlucky to lose that as much as I wanted Brady to win. Mm-hmm. I think they were just playing awesome defense. Bills Chiefs. I don't know. I'm still trying to understand what happened there. That was just no defense played in that last quarter. Feel really sorry for the Bills fans. That's tough to lose like that. But that's football, right?
They should have gone for it on that fourth down.
Anyway. Even if they squib kicked it right in the kickoff, I think Nate was saying that in the chat today. I was thinking the same thing. Just a couple more seconds off the clock, a little bit more pressure. But man, 13 seconds to stop. You just need one stop. 13 seconds.
Yeah,
it's Patrick Mahomes, I guess. But
yeah, they talked about that on the Peacock and Williamson podcast.
I haven't listened to any podcasts because I didn't want to ruin that game. Like I knew the result, but I didn't know how it went, so I haven't listened to any podcasts on that. So I'll probably do a little binge now. But yeah, it was a great game. Not much defense, but who do you reckon's got a better defense, KC or the Bengals? I like the Bengals defense. I think they,
I think the KC defense has been pretty good in the second half of the season after a pretty treacherous start. and it's got. I think it's got more big name-ish guys. You know,
Definitely got more big names.
You know, Chris Jones could turn it on, have a monster game. Mathau could have a monster game.
Honey Badger,
you know, Honey Badger.
Yeah.
From a Bengals point of view, you know those guys don't jump out at me on defense, even though as a unit they're really really good.
Yeah. I think as a unit, that they, in my mind anyway, they seem better. I don't think it's a given that Casey's going to win. Even the Rams. The Rams got to come correct against 49ers. I think they should be strong favourites, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll get there, but you know they'll be strong underdogs again, the 49ers, and you know we saw what happened in Green Bay. Green Bay looked great all game, but just couldn't score.
So, what's your Super Bowl prediction?
I hope the Bengals get through. So I'm going to predict they go through. It's 50-50, but I think they'll just sneak in. I think it'll be Bengals-Rams. Yeah, I don't know how that'll play out, but yeah, Bengals-Rams.
I think it'll be Rams-Chiefs, but I'd love the Bengals to make it.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. So those shares go up, mate.
Those two have done enough damage to me, all right? Don't hurt me anymore.
They were good for me, mate. It's all about timing in fantasy.
So the biggest news today is Sean Payton retiring. Well, he's not retiring, sorry. He's stepping away from coaching from the Saints. Not retiring from coaching. That's been pretty specified. I reckon it's very likely he's going to take a year off and then be back in another job. What's your take on the whole situation, Matt?
Well, I think we spoke off air. Taysom Hill is dead. If he wasn't already, I think he's gone, right? I think he's was clinging on to a bit of life when Sean Payton was there. Now he's not there. I think that's the end of him. I was listening to the Lombardi podcast, the Mike Lombardi GM Shuffle, which is not a bad podcast. And a couple of weeks ago, he mentioned that he thought Sean Payton might try and get out of his last year at the Saints and go over to Cowboys. So whether he takes that year off or whether he just goes straight out, I don't know. But certainly a massive upgrade for the Cowboys if they get Sean Payton compared to what they've had. It just looks like a ramble, just so disorganised over there. And, you know, obviously Payton's not going to cop any of that. That's probably what they need. What about yourself, Benny?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen this season. I think he'll take this year off, just like he said. And then next season he'll find his way to a job. And if the Cowboys get bounced again, I think he'll end up their coach. They get bounced in. They probably anything short of a Super Bowl next season. I'll say Sean Payton is the coach of the Dallas Cowboys heading into 2023. What do you reckon?
I think that's the only way McCarthy keeps his job this year. If Jerry's had a whisper in Sean's ear, if he hasn't already, and said, you know, what are you doing in 23? I think they're not going to get a coach for 1 year, right? They'll probably run it back again with McCarthy, maybe a new offensive coordinator, and Payton comes back. I think he is contracted for next year, so maybe, you know, that's why he takes that year off.
He's contracted for the next 3 years.
3 is it? I thought it was just 1 year. Okay, well there you go. But yeah, no, I think he'll be there next year.
Any other news we need to touch on? Anything I'm forgetting?
Tom Brady retiring, rumours. Just saw some of his comments about the decision's not his decision; it's a family decision. So I don't know. I thought it was just a given he's going to come back. Watch this space, but I think he'll be back. But who knows?
Yeah, but look, I think he'd be back as well. But seeing the way it ended for Manning and seeing the way it ended with Breeze, like I think Manning won the championship. Manning won the Super Bowl, didn't he? But,
yeah, he did.
But yeah. I mean, as a player, he was a shadow of himself. Same with Breeze.
Yeah,
I mean, it would be. Does he want to keep rolling it back and go out like that, or does he want to go out off the back of one of the greatest seasons of all time? Like, I mean, how much can you keep tempting fate, right? As a quarterback could be going on 45.
I mean, there's every reason to do it, right? Like he's knocking down those doubters to do it at 45. It'd be something special. He did mention he wanted to, it'd be a dream. Captain obvious, right? But it'd be a dream to win a Super Bowl and retire. So if they bring most of that squad back, and I think that's what with that Antonio Brown leaving really hurts, right? Because that's when you needed him. That's when you depended on him. You can see they had no other option, right? It was just Mike Evans and no one.
Well, yeah, if they had Antonio Brown and Wirfs was playing in that game, they probably beat the Rams.
Yeah, I think
Lloyd?
Wirfs. Yeah, definitely Wirfs was playing. The Rams were lucky, is what we're saying, right?
I don't want to say lucky.
I'm just staring Lloyd up now. The Rams are the better team. I think if they had lost, that would have been unlucky to lose. That they were the better team all game. They dominated. Donald was just wrecking the whole game. He just impacted the game so much, and Brady, as he's done so many times, carried the poorer team almost to the overtime. Who knows what would happen in overtime, but we didn't get there. So I think the better side won.
So today's episode is going to be a quarterback carousel episode, basically going through each team and seeing who's going to be the 2022 starter, where we think that starter is going to be different, going to change. We'll have a little bit of a discussion about it. Otherwise, we'll probably just gloss over them unless we've got something that warrants mentioning. All right. And so me and Matt have both filled out a sheet, got them all listed here. Share. Slots. Okay. Should I share the screen, Matt? Or should we just read out the list?
You're the host, mate. You're the host of the most. Whatever you reckon.
I don't like that. Hide.
People need to see our heads, mate. I think.
Yeah.
Give them what they want.
We'll give them what they want. Can't deny people this, can we? All right. So, first cab off the rank is the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray. Nothing much to talk about there. Next, Chicago Bears, Justin Fields. Nothing really to talk about there, is there?
Unless you Mr. Mark Bull, I think he's feeling a bit nervous, but no, I think he's a lock. He's fine.
Yep. Not worried about who the coach is or anything like that.
Only ways up for Mr. Fields.
Fair enough. Green Bay. Now, I've got Jordan Love as the starter. I think Aaron Rodgers will move on, and you'll see where I have him going later on. You've got Teddy B.
So I think Jordan Love's still the starter next year, but I think they bring in a veteran as well, just because he's a rookie. They've had such a veteran presence there, so I think they need another option. And I think it'll be Bridgewater.
Nice. Look, I think Love takes the job and just goes forward. Giants, now this is controversial. I've got Deshaun Watson. You still think it's going to be Daniel Jones?
Well, I do think it's going to be Daniel Jones. I think they've got the excuse there of Joe Judge. It sounds like it was a bit of a shambles there, bit of a rabble. I think he enjoyed his money cashed out and probably won't get another head coaching job. So I think that might save Daniel Jones for one more season. I think he was injured, got a couple of excuses there, so they might run it back for one more year.
Yeah, I think with the Giants having 2 top 10 first-round picks, they're in a real position to be able to acquire Deshaun Watson without crippling themselves going forward as far as assets. Another first and then a couple of other lesser picks and players can get that done, right? So that's why I predicted Watson will go to the Giants. Obviously, there's a lot to shake out And this is all just for fun. We're not really expecting to be super accurate with all these. And if we get one domino wrong, and then it's probably likely that the rest are going to be wrong as well.
We're throwing darts, people.
We're throwing darts.
Just throwing darts.
Yeah,
the starters. We're pretty firm on the starters, right? What we think where the starters are going to be. I think that's where we're saying this is what we think is going to happen. But as of the rest of it, who knows where these free agents are going to fall and who the coach is. We don't know who the coach is going to be right there. So they've got a GM yet, so it's all over the shop really. But I thought we'd have a bit of fun.
But yeah, they've got a solid. I mean, they've got weapons on offense. They got. Look, I can't really speak for their defense. Is their defense good? Where's Joe Nose?
Not bad actually. Yeah, I think it's not bad. Where's Joe Nose? I think it's a bit underrated. I think they've been an okay defense. They just can't get anything going on offense. I think they're just field goal central there. But look, they do have a lot of problems. So I'm not sure on Deshaun Watson. I think if you're a Giants fan or a Giants as an organisation, you can get Deshaun Watson. You'd have to do it. I'm not sure if the owners would take that risk. Right? They're pretty reserved owners. That's the other thing. But if you can get him and he can win, you got to go for it. I think so.
The Maras are conservative owners. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Detroit Lions. I've got Jared Goff as the starter. You've got Jared Goff as the starter. But I'm projecting that they'll draft Sam Howell with either their late first that they could have from the Rams or the early second that's their own second.
Yeah, I like that. I think Goff's the starter next year and they draft a QB. I just missed filling out there, so I might just sneak your Sam Howell. I don't think I've got him anywhere else. But yeah, I think they'll run it back with Goff starting the most of the year and just have a rookie QB that sort of sits and learns for a year and go again for another pick in 23.
You don't think they'll wait till 23 on a quarterback, a year that's meant to be a lot stronger at quarterback? Or maybe they just keep taking one till they get one?
I think they'll take one this year. I think, you wait till 23, then it's another year before they start. I mean, who knows really? But yeah, I think they just keep Goff, run it back again, take a quarterback towards the end of the draft, and it's not going to be a massive early pick. I think if they get one, I haven't even seen the board really, but yeah.
Washington football team, and it's in about a week's time we'll know what the Washington football team will be calling themselves in 2022. What's your prediction?
It's going to be pretty ordinary, I reckon. It's just been a bit
Washington
of
what?
Mate, the Washington what? There's who knows? I think there was a rumor going around, right? That guy, there's a guy over there that has trademarked a zillion names, and they were just trying to work out a deal with him, and they had some name there. But yeah, they should have been done by now. But anyway, it is what it is. What do you got? Any the Washington Koalas? I don't know. What do you got, mate? What do you got for me, Betty?
I got no idea.
Washington Wolves. I think we lost Benny. So I think Ben's got Kenny Pickett going there in the first round pick. I've got Malik Willis. I think Malik is just, the hype's going to be massive. It's going to be huge there, and I think he's just going to, get pushed up and up those boards. You see that every year with sort of one QB coming out of anywhere. So I think he's the one that's going to sort of rise through the ranks there.
Sorry, mate, I don't know what happened.
Mate, I was rambling. I was trying to carry it. I had nothing. I was just saying, you had Kenny Pickett going in the first round. I had Malik Willis. My take on Malik is he's going to be the one that sort of, it's got a lot of hype going again with him with that massive arm, all those talents that he's got physically. I think he, the hype just might sort of get out of control with these NFL teams. They might sort of move him up the board, which is why I've got him there. But I like Pickett. Pickett would be a good pick as well.
Yep. Do you have Malik as you got him going to Washington? Does that mean that for you he's the first quarterback off the board in the 22
Yeah,
draft?
look, yeah, I think so. I think just because they said that hype, they just, I think some teams are going to see him and just be licking their lips, thinking, "Wow, you know." If I know I'm a quarterback whisperer, or I know someone who can fix him or that can do this, you know, and they're going to see what he can do. Those rose-colored glasses, and someone's going to buy it early. So I think he's the X factor right in this draft. I think he's just so much potential.
Yeah, I originally had him. Look, people will see where I have him later, but the Senior Bowl is going to be pretty big for him, and if he goes out and plays well at the Senior Bowl, um, he's stock could skyrocket.
Yeah, I think it's just going to get just pushed higher and higher, and, you know.
Philadelphia Eagles. I've got Jalen Hurts. You've got Jalen Hurts.
I think they drafted a QB project again, maybe strong. Similar to how they did in Hurts, they had a starter, but they drafted Hurts in it. Did he go in the second, or he's the second day anyway? So I think they probably do the same.
It was a second round pick.
Second round pick, yeah. So I think they'll do the same. I don't know if Carson will be second or third, but I think Strong will probably go there. They like that sort of. Well, they used to anyway. With the previous coach, that QB factory, I think was the term he named. So I think Hurts is the man now. I think I've got no fears long term for him there. Short to long term, anyway.
Yeah. So this is we've both got a new starter and both a different starter. Pittsburgh Steelers. I've got Kirk Cousins. You've got Winston, Jameis Winston.
I don't know why I went Winston. Just felt great going there. I think they got cap problems, and he's going to be reasonably cheap. Shame for him that he got injured, because I think he looked patchy but good. You know, it's a new system for him, and I really like him. I just like him, and I think he'd go well there, throwing that ball to those wide receivers. And the O-line's probably got some problems, but it's got to be an upgrade on Big Ben or Mason Rudolph.
Okay. Look, I've got Cousins. I think Pittsburgh think they can be competitive if they get a good quarterback. Cousins, I think the price will be right. I think they could probably get him for like a third round pick off the Vikings, who I think are going to clear house, getting a new GM and a new coach. I think they're going to totally try to wipe the floor. I think what they might do is structure his contract in such a way, restructure it to basically pay him a bonus. So whatever team is getting him for 2022 has a low cap outlay. And you pick out what I'm putting down?
Yeah. No, I think that's a great approach, and I think Cousins will work well. It's Pittsburgh. What's going on with Thielen? And they probably move Thielen on as well, then, at Minnesota.
Yeah, I think they try to move off Thielen. They might even try to move off Cook. Though I like having Dalvin Cook there as kind of like a safety net for a young quarterback. But the Steelers have $44 million of cap space.
Do they?
Yeah, and they can create another 10 to 20 million by releasing or restructuring a couple of contracts, apparently.
I think we know these days that it's pretty much flexible. The cap, it's going to bite at some stage. You take that 1 year where you
That's the thing.
take a massive hit, but you can kick the can down the road, can't you? So
you can keep kicking the can down the road and just take that hit all in 1 year, and then just pick yourself back up again, dust yourself off, and have cap space.
I think the Pats did it 1 year. They took that Brady hit 20 mil when he wasn't there, and then spent $170 million on a couple of used tight ends and some dodgy wide receivers, but they got the quarterback right anyway, so can't complain.
Did they really, though? Did they really get the quarterback
They did.
right?
I think we had a Jordan Love, Mac Jones bet somewhere, Penny. I think we said that was
I'm
on
old
the board
enough
somewhere.
I'm old enough to remember when Baker Mayfield was like dynasty quarterback 2 or 3 after his rookie year.
I remember.
Yeah. I remember when Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota were going in the first and second round of Superflex startups.
Well, that's the thing about Jones. He's not going to go that high, is he? He's never going to be that. He's just going to be a QB2, thereabouts. I think they've really just kept him a little bit under cotton wool. It's a hard system to learn. The fact that he won it off Cam in the off season speaks volumes. NFL, we're talking about, not fantasy. NFL, I think he's the starter there for the next 10 years. But yeah, who knows? And look, I still like Baker too, by the way.
Baker, who you don't have having a starting job.
Yeah,
right
that.
now
I think I was out. I think I was out in the sun too long, even beforehand. I said, just check this list because I might have Malik Willis going in 3 different places. So I still have Baker. I think he was injured. I think before injury, after injury, he was a different quarterback. He's not great, but he's good enough. I think he'll start somewhere, and he can sort of win with him, not because of him, but with him. But yeah, he's never going to be that guy, right? He's never going to be that QB 1 or 2 that people hoped him for. But he's still dependable. Can manage a game, and hopefully he gets a bit of health and gets a good landing spot.
Well, I've got Los Angeles Rams. We've both got Matthew Stafford. 49ers, Trey Lance. Are we sure it's going to be Trey Lance? We've both got Trey Lance. They're not going to roll it back with Garoppolo one more time. What do they do if he wins the Super Bowl?
They roll it back one more time, and he, Lance maybe sits another year, which is fine. It's completely fine if he does, right? Like,
not really. If you paid 3 first-round picks for a player, it's probably not fine if he sits on the bench for 2 years.
Well, maybe he sits half a year, really. But I mean, he's not Trent.
Sorry, mate. You go.
Is he Trent Dilfer? Garoppolo, right? Dilfer won the with the Ravens, right? And they didn't bring him back. Was it the Ravens he won with? I think he did. So look, he could do. He's not that bad, Garoppolo, but he's not that good either.
If you look at the 4 quarterbacks in the conference championship games, one of these things is not like the other. Right?
Yeah, look, if they get there, it's in spite of
the same.
It's in spite of Garoppolo. I think he missed a wide open wide receiver and a tight end in that game and looked a bit ordinary. So, it's hard not to bring him back. And as you say, you can keep that can down the road. But it just gives you such an advantage, doesn't it? If you've got that QB on a rookie contract, there's 20 mil you can chuck into free agents or other positions to keep your players. So I think he's gone. But
I'm saying I saw all those memes online about, Aaron Rodgers. The 49ers didn't even draft Aaron Rodgers, and they've got him to 4 NFC conference title games. But you know what? If they had drafted Aaron Rodgers, they might have 4 or 5 Super Bowls. If they were still able to put these type of teams around him.
I saw the same thing too. Yeah, bit chalk and cheese there. Like he was not a superstar. It wasn't a superstar performance, but he wasn't terrible. He managed the game okay. Just didn't deliver at the highest moment. People were sort of talking about him as he had a terrible game. It wasn't great, but yeah, put him with that 49ers team. It's a different outcome, I think.
Cleveland Browns. I've got Baker Mayfield rolling it, coming back next year as a starter. You've got Kirk Cousins. That makes sense. He's got a track history with Stefanski.
Yeah, that's sort of why I had him there. And I think the Browns just move on from Baker. I think they've just had enough. So I think they move on. And as I said, I still like Baker, but I'd like to see Cousins there. I think he's an upgrade on Baker, and they can win with Cousins.
Maybe Baker can brack up Brady for a year in Tampa and then take over.
Mate, you never know. You never know. I think they can fit him in. But again, like we said, it's like I'm like a broken record. Like the cap space is not. It's just a myth, right? You can put it down the road. So yeah, but Baker, it's at Tampa. You heard it here from Benny.
Indianapolis Colts. I've got Carson Wentz. You've got Carson Wentz. There's been stories and little rumors popping up that they haven't fully committed to him for next year. I just don't see what their options are to replace him. It's not like he had a bad year.
Yeah, he was okay, right? He was all right. I think he was a QB2, decent year. What else can you say? You can't say, we're so happy that we had such a, look, I thought they were a complete team. I think I called them at the start of the year. Obviously, that's not the case, but it can't be all on him. And like you say, who are they going to replace him with? You can't just say you back the guy after that squad doesn't make the playoffs in the fashion they did, but not backing him and replacing him is 2 different things. I think he comes back.
Yeah, I just don't see what options they have to get better. Unless maybe they think Cousins is better and they get Cousins on the cheap.
Well, that's what you'd have to do, right?
Uh,
You'd have to go for an upgrade. You couldn't go for a rookie, with that squad. I think they're ready. They
but
just need that final
is Cousins an
pieces.
upgrade to Wentz? I wouldn't say so. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, not really. Same, isn't it? Really, I think he knows the system. I think you run it back again with Wentz, and a couple of close games there, they could have made the playoffs. So.
Cowboys, we both have Dak Prescott. Nothing to discuss there. Chiefs, I've got Pat Mahomes. You've got Pat Mahomes. Chargers, we've both got Justin Herbert. Denver Broncos, we both have Aaron Rodgers.
I think
So
I want to see Mike D's face when the Broncos sign him. I think he'll lose his mind. Great fit there. Great for the duty shares too.
come on, dirty jobs. Get excited. Yeah, look, if he's there, Judy might be part of the package, right? To get him there. I mean, looking at what they've done with Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton extending both of those, one of those three receivers is going to be in any deal for Rodgers, I would say. And I don't think it'll be Patrick because he hasn't got the pedigree of the other two, but I would say Sutton or Judy one of those two would be in any deal for Aaron Rodgers.
It's a small price to pay for it. A superstar. Once in a lifetime QB to play for your franchise. I think that's an easy if you can get him, even if he just stays for a couple of years. That you just smash hit. I think John Elway will drive him to the stadium himself if he can make that deal.
New York Jets, we've both got Zach Wilson. Patriots, Mac Jones. Vegas Raiders, Derek Carr. We both have Derek Carr. Ryan Tannehill. I had a look at Ryan Tannehill's dead cap for next season, and it's like $54 million if they release him.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Buffalo Bills, I've got Josh Allen. You've got Josh Rosen. I mean Josh Allen.
What a
Vikings.
game.
And we both have the Vikings drafting the same player, Matt Corral, out of Ole Miss.
I like Matt Corral. I think they're a good organisation. The Vikings, so they make a smart choice. I think it's a great fit. So,
do you think it's necessarily a bad quarterback draft, or do you think it's more that we just don't know? No one knows which quarterbacks are going to be good. We're going to get one or two good ones. We just don't know who they are.
Yeah, I think there's not these superstars this year, but you're always going to get one or two good ones. And yeah, I think it's Corral and Matt Corral and one others, whether that's Pickett or Malik. How I'm not sure, but I think Corral's the guy. So
yeah, I wouldn't mind him on my Vikings. I got the Falcons sticking with Carson Strong for one more year. Matt Ryan for one more year, but drafting Carson Strong in round 2.
I haven't got a rookie there. I think they'll probably do that. They'll bring a rookie in, but I think they'll run it back with Matt Ryan. I think they'll get some sort of trade for Ridley. They still got Pitts, and I don't know how good they're going to look in the field, but you run it back with Ryan for one more year, I think, and then start a rebuild.
What do you think they'd get for Ridley? Like a second? Do you think they couldn't get a first for him, would they?
No, I don't think so. Not for a wide receiver that hasn't been on the field for a while. So yeah, maybe a second.
Miami Dolphins. We both have Tua. How confident are you that Tua will be the starter? Especially, did you see the news today that random unnamed player has come out and said Tua's holding about the team. He doesn't have the arm to make all the throws.
Yeah, I always like these random unnamed player. And look, it's probably right? Like they.
Oh look, I'm
offense.
Yeah, I'm pretty dubious when it's unnamed.
Yeah. Well, all teams are limited by the quarterback at some stage, right? But no one's saying he's Aaron Rodgers or anything. But I think he's fine. I think the fact that they fired Flores, I think that let go Flores. They're fine to let him go, but I think he might have wanted to move on from him. I think he told him that he wished he had Mac Jones instead of Tua was the rumor. I think he's pretty hard on Tua. So I think that's maybe part of the reason why he was moved on. So that might be a vote of confidence for Tua for one more year. I think I'm fine with him there, but a lot of people don't see it that way. Certainly.
New Orleans Saints, I've got them keeping Jameis Winston and drafting Desmond Ridder in round 2. You've got them drafting Kenny Pickett, I'm assuming, in round 1.
I have. I did have a peek at Mel Kiper's board for this one. I just think because Sean Payton's going, that makes sense. Get an early QB, and they probably clean house. If Payton's going, they're probably going to move Michael Thomas and a few other of their players and go again. If Payton was there, it might be different. But now he's going. It's going to be hard to push your chips in with that squad without a QB. Taysom Hill or Winston, who's a free agent.
Yeah. I like Pickett. I don't think he'll be on the board at 18, and I think he'll be gone before that. If the Saints have him, I think they'll have to move up. Bengals, Joe Burrow. Seahawks, we both have Russell Wilson. Bucks, we both have Tom Brady. Not spooked about today's news at all. And Carolina Panthers is interesting. I have Malik Willis. I think he's going to be the first quarterback drafted off the board with the 6th overall pick to Carolina. You've got Deshaun Watson. Take me through that. How does Deshaun Watson end up in Carolina?
I think there's been rumours, right, that they were trying to trade for him last year, and they won it back with Sam Darnold. So I think they'll just run that back again. They'll try and get Deshaun there, and I think he'll look great in that offense. If he does, it's a massive upgrade of what they got. I think they're a contender. Not a contender, but their finals bound with him.
I just think it's going to leave them bereft of any assets. Very
Depends
bereft.
what the price is, doesn't it?
Well, it's going to be
Depends
3
how-
firsts plus if he gets rid of these legal issues, right? It's going to be 3 firsts plus.
Do you take less if you're the Texans, just to move on from him? I mean, I wouldn't, but it's been a year to pay him to do nothing.
Well, they could do it last year because his cap number was about $10 million. It's going to be a lot harder to keep doing it. But you got to make a decision, right? Jacksonville Jaguars, I got Trevor Lawrence. You got Trevor Lawrence. Not surprised there. I made a big trade for Trevor Lawrence this week. I traded the 2022 1.09, 23 first, which I think will be late. 23 and a 23 second, which obviously I think will also be late. For Trevor Lawrence in a 14-team Superflex league. So I finished with the 109 this year, and 2 teams that finished above me have blown it all up. So I think I'm a really good chance to finish minimum where I finished this year and end up paying 2 late first and a late second, and then a couple of other, like a third and a fourth for Trevor Lawrence. Some people probably think it's an overpay. I still have a lot of faith that Lawrence is going to work out and be an elite dynasty asset. So,
yeah, I like the trade. I think when you told me about it, you didn't tell me which side you had. But straight away, I said I think I like the Lawrence side. It's a good price. It's not a steal, but you certainly could have bought him with that at the start of the year. You couldn't give, a late first in a average class in a random to late first next year to get Lawrence. So now's the time to buy him, I reckon, especially in the 14 team, right? But, different to a 12 team. 14 team, it's even more scarce. So I think that's a good price.
Yeah, my quarterback 2 in that league before I got Lawrence was Baker, who isn't going to have a job according to Matt. So really
lies.
that other
Lies. I just left him off the field, but yeah, I think I had him as my QB2 in the Matrix League, and I got Kyler Murray because just I was sick of him being on the field this year. So it's a good move to make if that's your QB2.
Baltimore Ravens. I've got Lamar Jackson. You've got Tyler. What's his name?
Huntley, lies. Well, put the sheet back up. Put the sheet. Yeah, Lamar's going to go to wide receiver. He's going to make out a wide receiver. You know, we've both got Lamar, and it's a no-brainer.
We've both got Lamar. And Houston Texans, we've both got Davis Mills. I think he's going to get another full year to prove himself with that. All right. Is there any other players that you want to mention? Any backups you think could be sneaky buys that in Dynasty?
Look, I think I mentioned before, I think we probably both overvalue or maybe properly value quarterbacks in the Superflex. So any of these guys available, I think if you can get a Trubisky, maybe not Trubisky, but if you can get a Mariota or any of these guys that have started somewhere, who knows what could happen.
I would be I would acquire Trubisky in hopes that Brian Dable gets a job, and Trubisky gets that that opportunity to be that bridge quarterback.
Not going to cost you much, is he? We've seen him, being valuable with his legs. So
absolutely,
especially these 14 teamers, right? You can make a little profit as soon as he starts. Just sell him before he starts.
You still holding Andrew Luck with those legs?
I think I cut my Luck shares. I think I drafted him in a couple just before he retired. I'm still heard about it, but who knows? Maybe he comes back one day.
He's looking pretty lean.
Maybe Gronk can come back. No, look, he's not coming back. Luck, different circumstances. He looks happy and healthy, and bit of a shame, but I think he made the decision for him, for the right decision, and good luck to the young man.
So that was quarterback carousel. Would love to do this after the. Might revisit this at some point. Going to be plenty to talk about around the rookie quarterbacks as we go on into the off season and the Senior Bowl comes up and we get further into the draft season. But yeah, that was all for today. Was there anything else you want to touch on, Matt?
Just shout out to Bully. Love you, Bull. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're with us next week. We can talk down Justin Fields a little bit, and I'll trade him off you wherever I can. But yeah, it'd be good to do this with Bully at some stage. Go through those quarterbacks, get his input.
Absolutely, Bully, you handsome gentleman. All right. Well, if that's all, I'll let you go. We got to get back to work tomorrow after a day off today. Kind of sucks, but what can you do? Just keep on keeping on.
Count down to Sunday, mate. That's it.
Yeah, count down to Sunday. All right. Peace out.